Hello and welcome to the official What's This All About? Best thing to happen in 2021 so far, channel launch celebration of PaperCut Hive. I'm your host, Papercutter Al. We started with rocket ships. Have we peaked too soon? You be the judge. Or perhaps you, Dave. Please welcome PaperCut's America's lead, Dave Farrell. Dave, you and I have taken social distancing to extremes here. I'm in Melbourne. You're in Portland. How are things in your town today?
Oh, Papercutter Al, it's great to hear your voice. Things are good. We're in the Portland office. There's no other paper cutters, just a couple of us here. But it's good to be here and glad to be back in the office context. So I got to tell you, this is an exciting time for us. I mean, we get to unveil this new cloud platform we've been working on and PaperCut Hive and talk about how it's fantastic for our channel partners, for our customers, and it's really quite innovative for the market in total. So I'm really looking forward to being part of the conversation today. Okay, Al, so the next 40 minutes, they're going to be breathtaking. We want you to walk through the agenda line by line. Hit it.
You know I'm fond of lists, Dave. Thanks for not stealing my moment. We'll be joined shortly by Luella Fernandez, Director with Quocirca. Now, Quocirca, of course, provides strategic market insight and intelligence to print industry business and technology leaders. Luella's official biography says she's a respected and globally recognized analyst with a wealth of experience and knowledge from 20 years association with the printer industry. But I've got an unofficial biography for her, which says she's one of the smartest minds in print management in the world. And I mean the whole entire world. I'm delighted to have her as our keynote speaker, and she's coming up shortly. Later on, we'll start to unpack PaperCut Hive itself. Now, you'll get to know why we built it, what it does, why you should get to know it, and how best to sell it. We'll also take a moment to talk about the PaperCut family of print management solutions to see where PaperCut Hive fits and hear what's coming up with each solution. So watch out for that. We'll have the official launch of PaperCut Hive, and that's in around about 40 minutes, and we'll follow that with a Q&A. Now, if you have questions throughout the day, please pop them in the chat and we'll get to them at the end of the presentation. Promise. It's all completely anonymous, so don't be shy. Ask away, and we'll endeavour to give you a snappy answer later on today. Dave, I think that's the formalities finished. What's coming up?
Wow, Al, that was a mouthful, but thank you for setting the stage for what we're going to see over the coming minutes here. I have the pleasure of introducing a very special guest, Luella Fernandez from Quocirca, my old stomping grounds in the United Kingdom in Maidenhead. She's based out of there. Highly coveted, very strong industry expert. Luella's going to talk to us a bit about where things are headed, especially in this post-COVID world, and specifically around cloud and how that's impacting our customers and the types of solutions they're pulling. So without further ado, welcome, Luella.
Hello, I'm Luella Fernandez, Director of Quocirca. We provide strategic market insight into digital disruption in the print industry. Today, I'll be discussing how the pandemic has accelerated the push to the cloud and why Channel needs to act now in order to capture the cloud opportunity. The pandemic has revealed a new reality, that the cloud is absolutely vital to business resilience. The pandemic has highlighted the need for businesses to be nimble, flexible, and adapt very quickly to market changes as they adjust to lockdowns as well as the expanded remote workforce. In 2021, channel partners will be put to the test in terms of how they deliver strategic value to their customers. Cloud printing is an area where the channel can build competitive advantage and help customers lower costs, improve efficiencies, and enhance sustainability. Cloud printing momentum is growing, particularly with the recent announcement by Microsoft of Universal Print, and we expect cloud printing adoption to accelerate over the coming year. So let's take a look at how the hybrid workplace is redefining the need for the cloud. So let's consider the era of the hybrid workplace we're facing today, so the combination of office and remote working. The traditional workplace is no longer defined by bricks and mortar of an office building. It's a virtual space defined by cloud-based platforms for video meetings, document collaboration, and of course printing. Many organisations remain very reliant on printing today to support both their traditional workforce and their remote workforce. Quocirca's research has shown that almost half of employees are expected to continue to work remotely when offices do reopen. So even with a safe return to the office, remote working is going to be here to stay. This creates the need to manage a more distributed IT infrastructure, and this, of course, includes print. And this brings challenges and opportunities for the channel in terms of how they help their customers manage this new distributed IT and work environment. Added to this is the fact that the cloud-native Generation Z is entering the workforce. Along with millennials, they are becoming key decision makers, and the future hybrid workplace will be transformed by this new generation of workers. And this needs to be considered quite strongly, because these stakeholders will have more influence on buying decisions and have higher expectations of how they work, and are very used to subscribing and consuming technology in a different way to the traditional legacy approach to technology consumption. As a result, organisations need to rethink security, productivity and collaboration technology, and to deliver an always-on IT infrastructure for this new emerging hybrid workplace to operate effectively. Ultimately, the foundation for this hybrid workplace is the cloud. Cloud is absolutely an enabler for digital transformation. We have seen this already with many organisations compressing their digital transformation initiative to a matter of months compared to many years that was anticipated before the onset of the pandemic. In the wake of this pandemic, IT infrastructures all around the world have needed to scale very quickly, not only to accommodate the remote workforce, but also to support business critical applications, products and services. And this again even means printing. The cloud has played a crucial role enabling businesses to have the flexibility to provision resources on demand, and so gain greater levels of agility, resiliency, and scalability. This enables businesses of all sizes to compete more successfully, and particularly for SMBs, the cloud has provided a lifeline to enable them to be up and running very quickly when the pandemic onset over the past year. Many SMBs do not have the resources or budget to manage IT internally in comparison to their enterprise counterparts. And we find that SMBs are very much more advanced in terms of their technology adoption and quicker to adopt new technologies. So they are very much an untapped opportunity for cloud printing, because while they may have moved to the cloud for other elements of their IT infrastructure, printing is still one of those areas that is still managed in-house and on-premises. So moving to the cloud is not only allowing organizations to recover, but it also positions them to thrive post-pandemic. As organizations ramp up digital transformation efforts throughout 2021, we expect cloud adoption to further accelerate as more businesses get to grips with different cloud models. Quocirca research has shown that by the end of 2021, 82% of organizations will use cloud for more than half of their IT needs. This has risen from 73% last year. And actually, we're seeing a faster growth in the SME space, which we class as organizations with 250 to 500 employees, where we expect it to rise from 68% to 85% of SMBs that will be using cloud to manage over half of their IT infrastructure. So clearly opportunities for the channel to leverage and deliver cloud-based solutions to customers who are either embarking or already partway through their cloud journey. However, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to the cloud. Some organizations are born in the cloud, others are at different places in their cloud journey. Some have completely migrated, and many are operating a hybrid environment, which is a combination of private and public cloud. A hybrid cloud is attractive to any business, so it applies to businesses, whether they're smaller enterprises or larger enterprises, because it combines the benefits of both public and private clouds. It offers the security of the private cloud and the versatility of the public cloud. So for instance, organizations can keep sensitive data in the private cloud on premises, but actually run front-end applications such as productivity tools in the public cloud. This applies to the print infrastructure as well. Some organizations may prefer to keep print jobs privately hosted, so managed locally, rather than send them to the cloud. There are many different approaches here, and you'll hear more about that when you learn more about the PaperCut Hive platform. So going forward, there are lots of opportunities for MPS providers and channel partners to work closely with their customers as they embark on their cloud journey. It can be quite a complex model, deciding on what type of cloud approach to take, and particularly for SMBs, they are looking for additional support as they perhaps move to more of a hybrid cloud environment, and they're looking for more support to help them deliver cloud services to their customers. We definitely recommend that the channel should look to their vendor partner for support in helping them deliver these cloud solutions to their partners. So how does this all translate to the channel opportunity? The channel needs to consider the whole print and digital ecosystem and how it applies to the hybrid workplace. The growth in home printing creates opportunities for the channel to manage and report on printing across both home and office environments. 40% of organisations, according to our latest research, expect home printing to increase over the next year. Organisations are already implementing cloud printing, with almost 3/4 expecting to adopt a cloud print platform by 2025. Today, already almost half of organisations are using remote print job submission, so using the cloud to submit jobs to office print devices. However, just 21% are completely confident about the security of their print infrastructure, down from 33% before the pandemic. Organisations clearly need to tackle print security in the remote workplace, and cloud printing is a great way for the channel to help address print security concerns that their customers may have, particularly in terms of how they manage the home and office print environments. Ultimately, security, digitisation, remote working, analytics, they're all areas that can be supported by an effective cloud-based print platform. So what is the criteria for success ahead? Ultimately, it's not a case of if and when you move to the cloud, it's rather a case of how fast do you make this shift. Traditional MPS providers and channel partners are already seeing a change in their bread and butter business of MPS and on-premise solutions. In today's hybrid work era, channel partners must transition to the cloud first model, or they risk getting left behind. So how can the channel build competitive advantage as cloud adoption continues to increase? Firstly, they must overcome resistance to the cloud. Some channel partners are held back by legacy sales or a traditional sales model, or an entrenched company culture that is very much based on the old ways of doing things. This isn't sustainable in today's cloud-based hybrid working era. For example, Microsoft and AWS have already proved that cloud services does open the door to recurring revenue streams and a sustainable business model. They've seen it with their own cloud channel community. This is focused on building integrated solutions and value-added services for customers that deliver the business outcomes that those customers look for. So the channel must overcome the resistance to the cloud, and they must move to the cloud now rather than later. MPS providers and channel partners that aren't moving aggressively towards the cloud will be in a tough position for survival in the next few years. Ultimately, when helping customers move to a cloud printing environment, you are unlocking opportunities for your channel business. The type of channel partners that prosper over the coming year will be those that develop these flexible services to address the evolving needs of customers that do want these value-added services. For SMBs, many are eager to adopt cloud, but they want trusted partners to help them scale the solutions that are best for their business. Exploring vertical markets will be key to the channel, and as companies' digital transformation continues to accelerate, this requires new technical skills for the channel. Do look to your vendor or ISV partner for support here. They have a wealth of technical resources, training, knowledge base, community forums that can help you as you navigate your cloud journey. So summing up, as I've mentioned, the channel plays a key role in the growth of cloud adoption for providers across the cloud ecosystem, so IT and print infrastructure. MPS providers and channel partners need to make the shift now. Cloud is the foundation of the hybrid workplace, as we've seen. It helps organizations accommodate not only a growing remote workforce, but also the products and services that they rely on to support their business, and this includes print. Printing is one of those last areas to move to the cloud, and as such represents an untapped opportunity for organizations of all sizes to lower their costs and improve efficiencies. not least for the SMB market, which, as I've said, are restricted and restrained by a lack of IT resources and have budget pressures that perhaps their enterprise counterparts don't have. Traditional channel partners must move out of their comfort zone to reap the benefits and capitalize on the cloud opportunity. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I hope you enjoy the rest of the event, and I wish you all good luck on your cloud journey.
It's great to hear from Luella. What were your key takeaways, Dave?
Al, some serious knowledge bombs in that delivery. So, Luella, thank you for sharing that with us. It's clear that cloud is going to introduce some tectonic shifts for this industry. So anybody who thinks that print is, think again. We're in the midst of some serious change coming.
Okay, Dave, before we move to our next segment, let us check the watch. Yes, indeed, we're about 25-30 minutes from the official launch of PaperCut Hive with Chris and Matt. Let's spend the next few minutes getting to know PaperCut Hive a little better. Now, you've got a couple of friends with you there in Portland to help you out, am I right?
I sure do, Al. A few friends over here. Before I dive into Hive and kind of what it's all about, I thought we'd take a trip down memory lane with a very special paper cutter, Dacia, to talk to us a bit about the cloud journey, which has been years for PaperCut now. So let's hear from Dacia a little bit about the journey we've been in the midst of.
So the first thing I want to say is cloud isn't new for PaperCut. We introduced PaperCut Views, our first cloud product, back in 2016, and today there's over 50,000 organizations tracking their printing in PaperCut Views. PaperCut Views allowed our engineers to learn all about continuous delivery, cloud security, uptime demands, and so on. The reason that was important is that we had a choice a few years back. We could either augment existing software to be cloud ready, in our case that would have been PaperCut MF, or we could build something that was cloud native from line one of the code. And we chose door number 2 because it's the right option. It's absolutely critical to build for the cloud from scratch so that scalability, security, and flexibility are built in from the get-go. Now, while we were building the cloud-native platform that houses PaperCut Hive, we also added cloud technologies to PaperCut MF from our earlier cloud learnings. You've probably seen these features already, things like scan-to-cloud storage and cloud OCR, and the ability to host PaperCut MF in the cloud. So I mean it when I say cloud isn't new to PaperCut. Okay, now let's talk about how we arrived at PaperCut Hive's feature set, which I promise you'll get to see shortly. We talked to our customers, our resellers, and our global partners to create a dream wish list for a cloud-native platform. And here's what we came up with. Document security. Documents had to be protected by the highest of security and compliance standards. Mobile working. We all know the number of devices people use is ever-growing, especially now with our more hybrid way of working. Users should be able to print from inside and outside of a corporate network. That was super important. Less infrastructure. So the feedback was that we had to remove the need for a print server while keeping security front of mind. Free up IT time. IT teams should be spending less time managing print infrastructure, but not at the expense of a secure and simple user experience. Cost efficiency. We had to minimize print-related costs. Intuitive and fun. Tailor the printing experience to individual user. Uptime. Cloud-based platforms should account for network outages and single points of failure while optimizing for performance. Don't slow it down. And guess what? That's what you're about to see in PaperCut Hive. Okay, so that's an insight in how we got to today. PaperCut Hive's been in development for a long time, with our CEO, Chris Dance, leading the way with development and planning. Okay, enough of the history lesson. I know you want to see what PaperCut Hive looks like. So back to the studio with Dave and PaperCutter Al.
Okay, enough about the past. Let's get back to the future. The future. Dave, you've got someone working with you in the Portland office who I know loves taking PaperCut Hive for a drive. So how about you get them to take us through PaperCut Hive's interface, talk to some of its exciting new features that are, quite frankly, they're new to printing. It's really exciting stuff.
Will do, Al. Excited to introduce a person that is very equipped to do that. This is our very own technical and customer expert. It is none other than Noah. Noah has spent literally about the last year working with end customers, demoing Hive, working with some of our strategic partners, and he has fed back a lot of those learnings straight into our dev team, and real changes have come about as a result. So there's nobody better to share this with you. So let's start off right now. Noah, let's go ahead and see this thing in action.
Awesome. Thanks, Dave, for including me. I'm really excited to show this product. PaperCut Hive has been in the works for a long time, and a lot of that focus has been on building a strong platform and foundation. And as I've started to see the intelligence that goes underneath the surface, I'm really glad we put that time in, because I think it's going to be worth it to help us accelerate and set some new records in cloud. Let's dive into the product. And as I kind of go through, I'm going to focus on the themes we've already been talking about. That essentially PaperCut Hive is simple to sell, simple to manage, and simple to support. When I think about it though, I kind of want to shift the order of these, and I want to start with simple to manage, because I think anything that's simple to manage will demo well and will be ultimately easy to sell. So let's kind of just start now with the UI. At a glance, hopefully, first impressions, it's really easy, really simple to navigate, extremely visually appealing. We really want to set a new benchmark when it comes to usability. On the left-hand side, you'll notice there's some categories. We've tried to make these very sensible. So configure, explore, manage. There should be no doubt in the administrator's mind what they're doing in each of those categories or each of those sections. And then underneath that, we've also, and I think this is a really good idea, we've made it more outcome-based. So print security, reduce waste, easy printing. They're all around what are these options doing for you? Not just what are the options, what do they do for you? Because that's the point of Hive. The point of Hive is to make a difference. And so let's dive a little bit into the actual categories, and maybe let's just show you a couple things. There's a lot in here. I don't really have time to dive into every setting. I hope that this will just inspire you to try it for yourself. But for now, let's just dive in. So under print security, the way that we've kind of organized it is before printing, during printing, and after printing. Again, extremely easy to follow. If we were to open one of these, let's say secure print release, you'll see that we have easy to operate toggles, and then we have visual feedback to the administrator saying, kind of through a gamified interface, this is what this would look like to your end user. And I think that's just a small touch, but it goes a long way in building confidence. If you were to kind of say, okay, well, what if I wanted to set up a watermark? Again, extremely easy. And what we've tried to do is strike a balance between customization and efficiency. So there's not a lot here, but there's kind of a lot here as well. So hopefully you see that and experience that yourself. If we go to reduce waste, you'll see a similar theme. You'll see these gentle, blunt, or clever. These are the categories. For those of you in print management for a while, you'll know that sometimes customers don't want to roll out a harsh policy, like maybe they don't want to force everybody to black and white printing. And so we've kind of taken that into account, and we've offered, some gentle options that are just right there, super easy. And hey, we've even put some clever adaptations in there. Like for instance, how often do you want to prompt the user to do two-sided printing? Well, we all know, people are busy. And so prompting them 44% of the time, very specifically, versus all the time might actually result in them being won over to influence their printing versus just being forced to. So when it comes to administration, when it comes to simple to manage, we think we've nailed it. But there's another aspect to that, and that's the end user experience. So getting users into PaperCut Hive is super easy. You can either bring them in from a directory, and we initially started off with some add-ons around Azure, and we're working on Google. There's going to be a lot more in the future. This marketplace is going to be full of connectors. But beyond that, we also can just invite users from their email address. So pretty simple. You have a list of emails, which a lot of smaller or maybe medium businesses may not have a formal directory. And so this makes it extremely accessible for those customers. They can just send an invite. And then from the user perspective, it's self-setup. So we do support deployment. So we will support the ability to push it out if users don't have permission. But in this case, let's just say, hey, we want the users to self-setup. It's 3 easy steps. They set up their app or their Edge node. They dive into their mobile app for their phone for release, and everything is already tied into their user identity. So it's super, super simple for them to get set up. And then they're basically printing using our Find Me technology. All right, so if we kind of dive back into the interface, let's kind of now adjust from easy to manage and simple to manage. And let's adjust from that to simple to sell. Now, anything that's simple to sell will be essentially simple to manage. It has to resonate with the customer. And so when we dive into the product, there's a couple things that I think make it really simple to sell. First, it's our Edgemesh technology. This is the magic tech that really goes into making this product what it is. It is the thing that keeps your print jobs as a customer on site and secure, so that the job goes the shortest path to the printer, but also it ensures that if you need to print through the cloud, you have an option through our cloud node. So it's really kind of the best of both worlds. And I think when it comes to print, it's a very sensible approach to print management. The other thing that we've built in, and I think that this is something that you'll resonate with, is we support, and we're working to support all the brands that we support with MF. And so, although this is a brand new product, it's completely, ground up rewrite, we still want to bring that familiarity of you can go into any customer with any fleet, any operating system mix, and you'll be able to cater PaperCut Hive to their needs. So if you were to look, at the various different options under printers, you'll see that not only do we support, a breadth of different manufacturers, but we also have different levels of embedded app that actually will work on many of these different devices. And so if a device supports a full embedded, then you're going to get the familiar experience of, copy, scan, print, release at the panel. And then if a device maybe doesn't support that, we've still endeavored to add light release. So that's for customers who just want simple print release at the panel. And then if a printer doesn't support that, so we're talking about printers with maybe no touchscreen at all, we support mobile release through QR code, NFC, or from the various different options like list. And so now you can go into any customer and you can attach PaperCut Hive. If you think of attachment rate, you can increase how many opportunities you attach solutions to by simply including Hive on most deals where maybe other options wouldn't have been suitable. And the last thing I would say in the kind of the category of easy to sell, and this is from, when I was, in the industry selling solutions, it was always kind of like, what's the point? So I've got this product, I've been running it. I used to love coming back to the customer and saying, all right, you've been running this product for a while and let's look at what we found out. It's kind of like exciting, right? There's so many aspects of print that are invisible to the customer. And so the dashboard or the home screen in PaperCut Hive is really, it's kind of that culmination of what's the point. And I love that. So what we've done is we've really brought the insights to the forefront. So it's not just raw data, it kind of brings a story and it helps you understand where should I address certain issues. So it gives you visibility into the usage trends, something you may be familiar with, usage over time broken down by various types. You get that environmental impact right on the front screen in a very beautiful format. So you have that visual right in your face. Okay, this is the environmental impact. This is the difference we've been making with PaperCut Hive in play. We know our top users, top printers, but then at the bottom, I love this, job secured, savings, and print convenience. So this is really just saying, I can prove that PaperCut Hive is making a difference. I can prove that the policies I've enacted are actually shifting the culture of the customer and the company because I'm seeing that number go up. I'm seeing that green arrow saying 23%, increase, in the sheets not collected, AKA those are jobs somebody never had to print, which means that the organization is essentially saved that much. And so this gamification, this visual feedback, I hope would really kind of just tell the customer ROI, you are getting what you're paying for. And I think that will help you just be that trusted business consultant with the customer. Now let's kind of shift our attention to simple to support. When it comes to cloud products, there's so many things inherent to it that make it simple to support. The first thing is that it's continuous delivery. So the product is always getting better and it's in real time. So, for instance, under printers, the single click setup, that was something that was added to the product in the last, few weeks, and bam, one night it wasn't there and now it's there. So you'll see that continuous delivery. The other thing is that logging is baked in. We have the ability to trace jobs. So I had an experience where a customer had issues and they were able to swiftly trace what happened with the job. Why did it get maybe incorrectly rendered? And they were able to push out a fix immediately. That turnaround time is something that is, what you expect from a cloud product, and that's what you'll get with PaperCut Hive. And when you think about simple to support, there's one other thing that we need to talk about. And I would say, there's a lot that's changed. This is a completely new product from the ground up rewrite. But there's one thing that hasn't changed, and that's the dedication of PaperCut, paper cutters like myself, and tech services and your support team and your product team, your development teams. We're all still all in to make this product successful. And so hopefully that builds confidence that this is the same great support that you're used to from your partner network. And honestly, I'm just excited to get it in the field and start to work together with you to make the product what we envision it could become. So get excited. I encourage you to try it in your demo rooms. I encourage you just to kind of be passionate about it and give us feedback. Let us know how it's going and join us for the ride.
Okay, thanks, Noah. So that's a little about the technology, but what about the big question that you're probably asking yourself? What's in it for me? How's it going to help my customers? How's it going to help my business? Why would I hitch my wagon to PaperCut Hive when, let's be honest, there are other options in the market? In fact, why should I care about print management in the cloud anyway? I don't want to shy away from those questions. To get some insight into that, I'm actually going to throw to you, Dave. I want you to talk about why you would want to get PaperCut Hive onto your portfolio.
So that is the $64 million question, Al. Why should you sell Hive? Let's start macro level first. Two main things or themes come to mind. First, cloud is here. Cloud's not emerging. Cloud literally is here. The Quocirca reports back this up as well. They asked respondents for their next purchase of print management software, how many will pick cloud native? And 3 of 4 customers said that they're going cloud native for their next print management software. Pretty impressive stat there. Second, it's an opportunity for you to get new customers into your company and get new engagements, ultimately leading to new revenue streams. The first version of PaperCut Hive really focuses on those small to mid-sized businesses. If you look in the US alone, there's 30 million small businesses, and 98% of those have 100 or less employees. Think about that. This admin there to run their whole network. So it's real important that we keep things simple with regard to PaperCut Hive, and that's what we've done. We've architected a platform for cloud-native environments, and we've taken our 20 years of print management expertise, and we've applied that in a line 1 code rewrite. For the last 2.5 to 3 years, we've been developing that cloud-native solution. So those are some of the macro things. Let's kind of drill deeper into why PaperCut Hive. And it really comes down to 3 broad areas. Simple to sell, simple to manage, and simple to support. So let's drill deeper into each of these 3 areas. First, simple to sell. Some important areas under this category. PaperCut Hive is subscription-based, and it's tied to the MFD. So we don't play any funny games around here's how many users you're limited by. It is literally a subscription model, annual renewals tied to the MFD. So that'll fit nicely into your lease cycles that you have for your managed print services. It's also flexible. So when you look at the brand of MFDs that we support, we're adding more and more of those literally on a week-by-week basis. The platform, whether it's Microsoft or it's iOS or Chrome, and whatever device you decide to bring to the table, their flexibility is built in to support all of those. It's also intuitive and fun. And this is a shout out to our design team. They really set some bodacious goals for themselves with regard to trying to win awards for an intuitive software solution, not just within print, but talking about going up against all those software solutions out there. And those that have demoed this product from our early reseller engagement, they find that it's simple to demo and it's extremely engaging to customers. And you'll see that overall in the demo of the product as you get your hands on it personally. It's also sold by you, not PaperCut. So we're not here to take your customers and your business. This is a channel product, and it's for our partners to sell and to thrive with. Let's shift over now to simple to manage. There's a number of things. Probably the most important for your end customers is it reduces the infrastructure. So we've taken that print server that they were on premises trying to support and doing all the regular updates updates and the maintenance and the new Windows server comes in and they have to load new images, all that is gone. That burden is now on us in managing that print server up in the cloud, and that's something we've taken on. It's also designed, this cloud native platform, to be secure by design. And we did that. You'll hear terms like shift left design. That means since line 1 code, we've been thinking about the security side of things, zero trust networks, encryption of the documents at rest and in transit. All of those things are modern day techniques that we were able to develop and leverage from day one that will scale with us for many years to come. We also, a cool thing, it's actually harder than you think when you remove the print server from the customer's location. That might sound simple enough, but we had to actually take from and borrow from areas like Internet of Things market. And we developed a self-healing mesh called our Edgemesh, and that allows us to avoid single points of failure. So if your network goes down and you can no longer communicate with the cloud, that self-healing mesh will actually still print your documents within the context of the customer's environment. So it's really cool technology that this industry hasn't seen before. We also have deployed a continuous delivery model. And what that means is you should expect auto updates from us and future-proofing with feature deployments that will come in daily. And that continuous delivery model is going to allow us to really continue to bring value to your customers on a regular basis, which is our plan for this platform. Let's shift over to the third area. Last but not least, it's the easiest to support. So you should expect, because it's a cloud-native solution, that our uptime is going to be best of the best. And that's a big deal for keeping your customers up and running. It's also designed for a one-click setup. And I know some of those that are on the professional services side, they're kind of leaning back in their chairs going, one-click setup? What about instant support? Trust me, there's plenty of options for you to go out. But it's going to shift your dialogue more towards consulting to the customer, helping them with the configuration of their print management environment so they can get to a real outcome, and less time trying to go flash a new firmware image or other things you have to do to get things running and maybe in a historical model. And last on this particular area is one that we've developed with our channel partners in mind, and it's called PaperCut Multiverse. You're going to hear Jeremy talk about this in just a little bit when he does a little overview of this, but we're all really excited about this. This is a partner tool that essentially provides a single pane of glass to look at every instantiation of software from PaperCut that has been deployed to your customers. With this platform, you're going to have visibility to troubleshoot potential issues on the hardware or software. You're going to be able to look at features that are being used by the customers and give them more consultative coaching around what best of best looks like in a print management journey. You'll have all of that visibility. You'll also know at your fingertips what your renewals are going to be coming up, and so you can engage customers more proactively. So we're pretty excited about this thing. Simple to sell, simple to manage, and simple to support are really the defining characteristics of why you should lead with PaperCut.
Wise words there, Dave. Now listen, talk of the portfolio puts in mind the rest of PaperCut's products. What does PaperCut Hive mean for PaperCut MF? What other solutions are in the cloud? What's the full cloud story? And what about Microsoft's Universal Print? I'm glad I asked myself that question. We've gathered up a bunch of PaperCut product owners to get an insight into what's happening with their product or feature, any releases they've got coming up, and what the future holds. Now, the thing is, you give these guys an inch and they'll take a mile. Or in the case of this webinar, they're going to talk for 30 minutes each minimum. So to combat that, I set them a task. After all, we're only a few minutes away from the official launch, so I gave them 60 seconds each to share their update. Now here's the PaperCut portfolio update, gone in 60 seconds or less. We'll kick it off with an old friend, PaperCut MF.
All right, Willem and Matthew from PaperCut MF land. We're just going to give you a quick 2 updates, highlights from PaperCut MF that you can expect this quarter. So your heads are probably in the cloud right now with Hive and Pocket. But you know what? I'm going to keep your heads just in the cloud for a little bit longer with Cloud Print in Mobility Print. So this quarter, we added Mac to the group of devices that can print. So Mac, Windows, and Chromebooks can now securely print over the internet using Mobility Print. And it's available at no cost. So also for your customers that don't want print management right away, they can use it for free. And then, of course, you can upsell them to the wonderful land of PaperCut MF. All right, Matt.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a product manager and a healthcare lead. So if you were thinking that you're in the cloud, I'm definitely going to bring you back to our terra firma now. We've got something really exciting to introduce to you. It's actually based on technology that's been around for around 150 years. Yep, that's right. So like in the 1800s. And that is actually faxing. In 21, so version 21, we'll start to roll out class-leading fax experience directly from the PaperCut MF interface on the MFD or on your copier. So why faxing, you might ask? Well, 17 billion fax documents are still sent annually, and that's via 43 million fax machines. So healthcare, being our probably second biggest customer segment, uses faxing a lot. It's actually probably the primary communication mechanism for many hospitals around the world. And the current fax experience is clunky, and it's often very different depending on what the fleet looks like. So what we're launching is a class-leading, highly secure and seamless fax workflow from the PaperCut MFD experience. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
Hey everybody, it's Jamie here with a quick update on Universal Print. By now you've probably heard the big news. This week, Microsoft has launched Universal Print out of beta to the world. Now this is fantastic news for us because we are the first print management vendor to have our integration for Universal Print available in the market. That's right, PaperCut MF is now the easiest to configure, easiest to use, fully featured print management solution for Universal Print customers. So what's this got to do with Hive? Nothing. Hive is still what we lead with when customers come to us asking about cloud printing, serverless printing, remote printing. Universal Print for MF is a choice to support customers who've already invested in Microsoft 365 and Azure infrastructure. We're supporting customer choice because that's what we do. So what's coming next for Universal Print? Watch out for news from our OEM partners. Many of them are working with Microsoft to bring out new printer models that connect directly to Universal Print in the cloud. And of course, we'll work to support these and customer choice. Thank you.
Nice to hear about all the exciting stuff going on across our portfolio. Now let's tie it all together with PaperCut Multiverse. I'm Jeremy, I'm a PaperCut product manager, and if you hadn't heard, PaperCut Multiverse is a cloud-based partner platform that we have developed so that you can support and manage your customers remotely. And what's more, we have just exited beta and are ready for prime time. But we're not sitting around. We're excited to be expanding PaperCut Multiverse so that you can provide incredible customer support with PaperCut Hive. Imagine being able to provision, license, and remotely manage PaperCut Hive customer environments. That's where we're going, so stay tuned for more info. But if you're managing PaperCut MF customers today, did you know that you can get many of those benefits right now? With PaperCut Multiverse, you can monitor and get alerts for customer environments. You can manage licensing, you can remotely manage PaperCut MF installs, and even printing devices. And what's more, it only takes a couple of clicks to set up a connection. Ultimately, PaperCut Multiverse will help you save time and effort, assist you in becoming more proactive with customer support, and even help you expand your service offerings. To find out more, please reach out to your contact in our ecosystem. Thanks.
So Dave, plenty happening with the rest of the PaperCut family. And of course, it's all proof of PaperCut's philosophy of ensuring we've got a print management solution to suit every organization at whatever stage they're at, in whatever technical environment they have, including, of course, if and when they're ready to move their print management environment into the cloud. Okay, let's shift gears a little. Dave, let's get this clear. Who is PaperCut Hive for, and what's the best way to sell it?
Glad you asked, Paper Cutter Al. No better person than to bring back our very own Noah. Noah spent time in many of your shoes. He actually worked for a reseller selling PaperCut products and related solutions around print, so he is a perfect person to help on the positioning side of things. So Mr. Noah, go ahead and spill the tea. Tell us how we position this PaperCut Hive for success.
Okay, Dave, I'll spill the tea. I don't really know what that means, but I'm also going to close my laptop, so, don't want to ruin this bad boy. At this point, I kind of want to focus a little bit on some maybe best practices, or we're going to call it the PaperCut Hive 5, so you remember it. I know it's a little cheesy, but we're going to kind of talk about, what are the things you should keep in mind when you're going to market. Now, some of this is kind of, very personal to me. I come from the channel. I used to, maybe my old, resellers watching this and remembers fondly my days there. But basically, I've done it all. I've done cold calling. I've done, solutions portfolios. I've done managed print services where I'm plugging in thousands of printers. So I'm familiar with a lot of different angles of what it's like to promote print management in the industry. And so I hope that some of that authenticity comes through, but also, some of this is going to be new to me as well. And so we're all learning together. Overall, I would say there's 5 things I kind of think you should think about as you position this product. First and foremost, Hive is a brand new product, but it's not really at this point a replacement for MF. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you continued to put MF as your lead offering because of the 20 years that have gone into the feature set. But what I do think is that Hive is going to fulfill a very unique part of the portfolio, and it's going to really give you that full spectrum to address almost any customer situation. Now, over time, of course, the feature set will grow and it's going to get better and better with continuous delivery. So, that may get a little bit more blurry in the future. But again, don't view it as a replacement. We're still going to be 21.0 for MF is just around the corner. But you know what? You now just have more arrows in the quiver. Secondly, I think the PaperCut mesh is key. It's really important to get familiar with it. It may sound maybe super technical. There's a lot of intelligence built in, but find ways to make it relatable to the customer because that is probably the most, key differentiator between us and some of the competition. When it comes to the cloud UI, it's great. It's best in class, but the mesh is what's really been, the heart and soul of what we've been working on. And so we hope that you see the benefits of that, the resiliency, the no single point of failure, that just works kind of feeling that produces. And we hope you find some talk tracks around that you can promote. Next, I would say, PaperCut Hive is built to scale. So from the very beginning, it was built so that it could scale to enterprise. We are not afraid to go into enterprise, but at this point, it's kind of optimized from a feature perspective for more smaller businesses. And that's not a bad thing. That's half the workforce. And for many resellers, that is the bread and butter of their various different territories. And so I think it's a good thing, right? There's customers that MF was not suitable for, whether it be existing customer base or new segments you've never touched. This is going to hopefully start to resonate and attach to those opportunities like no other product would. And then I would say, fourth, in terms of things to think about, when you're looking for opportunities, think about customers with no IT department. Think about customers with low infrastructure or, they don't want a server in place. Think about customers who have BYOD or unstructured users where they don't really have a traditional directory, because those are the types of organizations where Hive will really easily slot and where maybe MF didn't slot as easily. And so hopefully you'll start to see that complementary nature as you promote it in the field. We've started to see some success with customers like real estate, or maybe even co-working spaces. By no means those, is that extensive, but those are some options to think about as you go to market. And then fifth, honestly, just keep this as a two-way street. We've always needed feedback, but we've really optimized from the point we get feedback to where it goes in the dev team and how they prioritize it. There is a seamless pipeline. It has never been a better time to give feedback. We want all the feedback that you have, whether it be documentation, whether it be product improvements, whether it be, we love this feature, it's amazing. We want it all. And also we encourage you to look for small but impactful wins. Things that make the product that much better or that much more usable or easy, that maybe aren't the huge features, that you might try to concoct, but more so just the small things that come from talking to customers and going, this would make my life easier. That's the stuff that really will make the product well-loved years from now. And then I would say, in terms of call to action, hey, sign up for the Cloud Appreciation Network, get in our CAN program so you can be up to date and so we can also get feedback from you. And then also, talk to your existing authorized partner for PaperCut about their feedback, give your feedback to them in tidal waves because we want all of that. And they'll get that back to us. And again, we're really, really excited, but this is a joint process. So we invite you again to come on the journey. And I'm just excited. I'm stoked. So good luck. And yeah, let's do this together.
Thank you, Noah. Great positioning summary, really helpful. For those that don't know, Noah's like 7'4", so I wasn't going to exactly have him stand here next to me because I'm not quite 7'4". But anyway, Noah, great summary. A reminder to those on the call that there's detailed selling guides that are available on PaperCut's partner portal, or just reach out to your authorized solution center and they'll give you more details.
Dave, perfect segue. Let's turn our attention to that collateral. And I also want to give everyone a quick peek into something a little special that's for partners only in the PaperCut portal. So first up, you might be familiar with this one-pager for PaperCut Hive. Now, your ASC or distributor will have access to this for you if you don't have it already. Our thinking is that this fact sheet will be handy for you to share with prospects and customers to give them a quick overview of PaperCut Hive. The other key piece we've created is this sales playbook. Now, obviously it's for your eyes only, but we built it to give you a head start on positioning PaperCut Hive with your customers. Take from it what resonates. Obviously, you know selling better than we do, okay? Now, something brand new for most of you watching today is the CAN. The CAN is short for the Cloud Appreciation Network. It's a very fancy name for a page on the PaperCut portal that's really a behind-the-scenes look at PaperCut Hive. It features interviews about the technology in PaperCut Hive, how to position it, the concept of cloud security, all sorts of partner-only content that I hope will spark your curiosity to learn more about PaperCut Hive. Over the next day or so, we'll set you up with links to all these goodies if you don't have them already, so watch out for that. Okay, Dave, let's get some important dates up on the screen so everyone knows what's coming up. I already know that in around 3 minutes, 3 minutes time, we'll have the official channel launch of PaperCut Hive. But what else is coming up?
Okay, listen, one key, very important date, and that is April 6th. That's our public launch of PaperCut Hive, or the platform that houses PaperCut Hive. So PaperCut Hive is here, will be our message. Get to your favorite print reseller to learn more. So did I also mention that we're not selling this product direct? It's your product, so you have to breathe life into that. So until April 6th, get to know your PaperCut Hive solution. And that starts by watching the CAN episodes. So if you go look on PaperCut, you'll find our CAN network. PaperCut blogs. So go ahead and read through a bunch of those really nice blogs that are written. But really, go talk to your authorized solution partner for training and get your training scheduled. You have a few weeks left, so get that thing going. Thanks.
Whew, thank you, Dave. Man, what a rush this has been. We've learned a bit more about PaperCut Hive, who it's for, why it's important for your business going forward. We've heard from Luella bringing knowledge bombs on the future of print management. I think we're at the point where all that's left is to introduce the two guys who made this all possible.
Completely agree, Al. We're ready for that. But before I bring on the founders, keep in mind there's a Q&A straight after this, so don't hang up. In fact, post your questions right now. Remember, it's anonymous, so put both nice things and really mean things, but not too mean. But it is anonymous. We don't know who you are, but we do want your feedback, and we value that. Thanks for having us. From me and PaperCut, Al, we're happy to be here, and we really enjoyed this time with you. So it's my absolute privilege to welcome PaperCut founders Matt Doran and Chris Dance to christen PaperCut Hive.
Welcome everybody. So Chris, the day has arrived. PaperCut Hive. We've been talking about it for a long time. A lot of hard work has gone into it, and we're here.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. We've been working on cloud for ages. We've had a lot of cloud features go into PaperCut MF over the last few years. And of course, we've been working on this platform. And PaperCut Hive is ready, it's available, and it's an awesome milestone. Look, I just wanted to say a big thank you to all our partners. Our ecosystem's different, and we see everyone as a true partner, and that has really helped us build Hive. A big thank you to all those people that co-created it with us, tested it, bought us those early customers, made sure it was ready for prime time.
Yeah, so now it's up to you. So get your hands on the product, ask as many questions as you need to, contact your ASC. We want you to be ready for the public launch. So Chris, is there anything else?
Yeah, look, this is part of a journey as well. For me, yes, we built a platform. We want to get into enterprise and education, etc. over time. But starting out in this SMB phase is an awesome milestone. When we started this, we said we want to simplify print management and make it available to everyone. So businesses of all sizes can grab it, open the world up. And I think we've really done this with PaperCut Hive.
Great. All right, enough chit chat. How do we launch this thing?
Well, many of you might know that I'm a big sailor, and we always launch a boat with a bottle of champagne across the bow. But no, that wouldn't be quirky and paper-cutty enough. So how about we do some espresso across the coffee machine? So I hereby pronounced Hive ready to float. May its winds and voyages be fair.
Another mess I got to clean up, Chris.
Traditional print management requires a local print server. Fortunately, there's nothing traditional about PaperCut Pocket and PaperCut Hive. They do away with the local print server by creating an Edgemesh. That means every computer in your organization is a node for replicating and processing print jobs, bringing cutting-edge IoT tech to the world of print. Edgemesh is more powerful than a single server because it eliminates the single point of failure. It auto-scales and grows with your organization. The more users you add, the more they print, the more nodes you have to do the work. PaperCut's Edgemesh technology is engineered with security as priority number one. When printing from within your network, your document contents remain local and encrypted and never go to the cloud. You get speed and security without letting go of simplicity. The document exists within your Edgemesh, nowhere else. The only information that travels to the cloud are job details like the number of pages, whether color or black and white, and paper size. Now just walk to the printer, release your job, and collect your document. And if a node is unreachable, the mesh doesn't break, it self-heals because another node steps up and takes over from its absent node friend. Uh-oh, you say. What if the internet goes down? No worries. The Edgemesh will operate autonomously to keep your printing up and running. But what if you're working from home or from a cafe? This is where the magic of cloud does its magic. Simply enable the cloud node in the handy admin dashboard and you'll be free to securely print from anywhere. Using Cloud Node is the only case where your documents will transit through the cloud directly into your Edgemesh. But rest assured, the contents always remain encrypted, and as soon as you print your documents, the contents are deleted. PaperCut Edgemesh is cloud-based print management reimagined in the world of IoT. It's print management in the cloud. Secure, powerful, self-healing, and serverless.